You want to be a writer, but what's happening? You've got your laptop, you've got your pad of paper, you've got your moleskin notebook, but you're not putting anything down. You're not getting words out. You're not sitting in the chair every day and getting on with the process of writing. It doesn't matter whether you want to be a poet, a novelist, a flash fiction writer, a writer of technical reports, or like me, a writer of non-fiction, how-to books, how-to ideas encapsulated in words. You have to write. You have to write regularly. You have to write to a deadline. You have to write to goals that will work. And if you're not getting your backside in the chair, how's your book going to appear? How are people going to connect with you? How are people going to find the book that is your voice, that is your authority on the topic? How are they going to discover your incredible poetry? How are they going to find your heart-stopping thriller that is rich with protagonists and action scenes and a story arc, character arcs? They're not going to find it if you're not sitting in the chair and getting the work knocked out. It is as simple as that. It's not about procrastination. It's not about, I want to get it right. You only get it right by finishing it and then editing it. This might seem harsh, and it isn't meant as harsh. It's called tough love. The idea that you will become a writer by thinking about writing, that's a fantasy. The concept of reaching new readers without creating product, that's a daydream. If you want to be a writer, get the words out, capture the words, find inspiration wherever you are. I could look out into the street outside my house, and every day there are 3 or 4 ideas that I could use. Whether it's for fiction or non-fiction, it doesn't matter. There's inspiration everywhere, and you just have to go out and find it. But you don't have to do tons of research. Please don't use that as an excuse. Research can be a form of procrastination. If you want to get your work done and you want to be productive, you have to go for a word count. One of my friends is Kevin Partner. He wrote an amazing book called 10-Minute Author. You can find it online, get a copy, download it, or have a print version. And he simply has followed the habit of writing something every day for several years. So he has more than 1 million words committed to screen, and he produces books very regularly. He's never been one for procrastination, and he doesn't need to be. When I was a kid growing up, there was an author who lived nearby called Nicholas Montserrat. He was a phenomenally wealthy man before he became an author. He wrote rich content in dozens of books about his life and experience around what was then called the British Empire. But his books are rich, colourful stories turned into fiction, which made him a successful author. My assumption when I was a kid growing up was that all authors were well off. Now, I subsequently discovered that isn't true. But he sat down and wrote his books. Whoever your favourite author is, who has a series of books, or your author who writes standalone novels, but writes them consistently, they don't suffer from procrastination. They sit down and they commit their work to screen. They commit their work to paper. The best thing you can do to be a writer is to write regularly. You could set yourself a goal of 250 words a day. You could set yourself a goal of 1,000 words a week or 2,000 words a week. You just need to commit yourself to what it is you believe in as a writer, and to commit yourself to the craft of writing. Sometimes you'll have good days. Sometimes you'll have bad days. I tend to write in 1-hour blocks, and I might get 5 or 6 or sometimes 7 blocks of writing done in a week. But if each of those blocks gives me 800, maybe 1,000 words, then I can get 5, 6, 7,000 words done every single week. Sometimes it's more. But if I can get 5,000 words done every week, that's 20,000 words a month. That's a book every 3 or 4 months. If you want to write poetry, one of my friends, Simona, she writes exquisite poetry. She's a Romanian national. She lives in England. Every few days, she uploads one of her poems to Facebook and has an engagement with her audience there. She's getting ready to publish a book of her poetry, and she already has created the audience by sharing poems and photographs that work together. What can you do today to commit to writing something that will move your ideas, your projects, and your writing dreams forward? Drop me a line in the comments below. If I can help in any way, then I'll try to do so. But it's up to you to create what it is that you want to create and to become the author of your own output. I wish you every success. Just commit to it, and we will see that you will be moving forward, and so will you. And that's by far the most important.